In today's video, I'm rating every single Beyblade ever released. And when I say every Beyblade, I mean every Beyblade. This is going to be a crazy video. We're going to rank them on a scale of 10. 10 being the absolute best, and 1 being, well, the worst. We'll be ranking them based on their stock combo, and it's purely my opinion, so feel free to not agree with some of my rankings. Also, this video took a lot of work to make, so if you're not subscribed, please consider it. It only takes a few seconds, and it really helps us out. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's get started. The original Valkyrie. It's hard-hitting with the clean design, but bursts every now and then. 7 out of 10. This was the first Spriggan. Sadly, it wasn't that great and burst to most things, but I do like the crimson red driver. It looks very nice. 4 out of 10. Amazing parts and heavy and survive, but the design and layer sucks. 3 out of 10. Probably the best out of the original 4 Beyblades. I like the chain motif. 8 out of 10. Amazing Beyblade that was so good it got banned in the US and Japan. I also love the purple flames. The only thing holding it back is the oval disc. 9 out of 10. A very simple defense Beyblade with decent performance. However, it was my first Beyblade, so I'm quite attached to it. 7 out of 10. One of the first Beyblades with an interesting driver gimmick and claw. However, it wasn't that great in battle. 5 out of 10. The Odin layer was amazing, but the blow driver, well, it kind of blows and makes the whole stock combo as a whole not that great. I do like the dark purple driver though. 6 out of 10. Cheeto. Enough said. 10 out of 10. One of the only brown Beyblades with the fun hopping gimmick. 7 out of 10. Fairly good defense Beyblade that comes with a beautiful golden ring disc. 8 out of 10. The hardest hitting single layer Beyblade with the first ever rubber driver. Not only that, its design is spectacular. 10 out of 10. Average Beyblade overall, nothing really stands out. 5 out of 10. One of the best single layer Beyblades with a beautiful ocean inspired design. 9 out of 10. One of the worst single layer Beyblades, but hey, it's a tree dragon, that's pretty cool. 6 out of 10. A Beyblade with great stamina, but terrible defense. If you can keep it from bursting, it'll do pretty well though. 7 out of 10. The first rare Get Beyblade. I like its design. 8 out of 10. On to the dual layers, starting it off with Victory Valkyrie. I like its design. I think it's the cleanest looking Valkyrie of them all. However, with variable, the Beyblade can get kind of out of control. 7 out of 10. Oh my goodness, I think this is the best designed Beyblade ever. The crimson red Unite driver with the highlight of white rubber is just so aesthetic. It's not too bulky and it is one of the most fun dual layers to use. However, it is absolutely terrible and it bursts to almost everything, but you know, I still love it. 11 out of 10. Burst to everything and is not Storm Spriggan. 2 out of 10. Fairly good defense Beyblade with an upgraded chain design. I like how there are spikes on the driver related to the Beyblade avatar Kirbyus. 8 out of 10. The first Beyblade to ever have a free spinning ball in its driver. It has a good design and it's fun to use, but it does burst every now and then. 7 out of 10. Another banned death scythe there, but this time it has a much cleaner design. I love the black scythe on it. 10 out of 10. Knockoff Cheeto. 1 out of 10. This Beyblade is so beautiful, and I love how the dark blue and yellow driver clashes with the silver layer. It does have a powerful driver in extreme, although the Beyblade is fairly light and doesn't really hit that hard. 7 out of 10. Amazing design, not so great performance or stamina. It can get some hard hits at the beginning of battle though. 7 out of 10. One of the worst dual layer Beyblades, but hey, it's a tree dragon, that's pretty cool. 6 out of 10. Probably one of the worst designed dual layer Beyblades with a mediocre performance. 2 out of 10. It takes the ocean design of the original Neptune and somehow makes it look even better. It is the first ever mode changing Beyblade, however it does burst quite often. 8 out of 10. One of the first layers with a gimmick and its metal balls. I like its black and lightning bolt design, and it is fairly good at stamina. 8 out of 10. Mediocre defense Beyblade with an ugly color scheme. 3 out of 10. It's a fun Beyblade because it has a crazy driver and hold, however because of that it is fairly inconsistent. 6 out of 10. Decently hard-hitting Beyblade with a fun jumping gimmick. Its design is also pretty cool. 8 out of 10. For some reason it comes with a wheel that spins vertically, kinda useless, at least it has a cool design though. 3 out of 10. Decent stamina Beyblade with a really cool spirit design. 7 out of 10. The first ever left spin Beyblade with added metal dragons on its layer. It's cool, it hits hard, and it gets a 10 out of 10. Solid Beyblade with good defense and decent attack power at times. 7 out of 10. The cycle driver kind of sucks and the Beyblade is just generic. 2 out of 10. Reminds me of Anka from Animal Crossing, and I love Anka. 8 out of 10. I like the blue and gold design. 8 out of 10. Now on to the Evolution Beyblades. Cool gimmick in the bound layer and reboot, although it doesn't perform very well. 7 out of 10. Decent Beyblade with a subpar wheel gimmick. 4 out of 10. It's a Ragnarok that doesn't burst every battle. 6 out of 10. The second left spin Beyblade to be released. Awesome design with an awesome gimmick and spin stealing. Free is also so cool, so 10 out of 10. Its layer has a free spinning gimmick which in the anime makes it almost intangible. It also comes with the best driver at the time, Atomic. This Beyblade was crazy good. 10 out of 10. It has some cool mode changes but just alright performance. 6 out of 10. It literally just has a small moving piece of plastic as its gimmick. Kinda lame, although I still like Death Scyther. 4 out of 10. The first dual spin Beyblade that hit like a truck. However, the teeth did wear down over time and caused the Beyblade to burst more often. 9 out of 10. This thing bursts to almost everything, however it's the banana so it gets some points. 3 out of 10. Cool gimmick and concept, but in reality it just caused the Beyblade to burst a lot. 2 out of 10. One of the heaviest Beyblades at the time, this thing was a tank. 9 out of 10. Great stamina but terrible defense, it burst to almost everything. 3 out of 10. Its square design allowed it to hit extremely hard, bursting almost every Beyblade it came in contact with. It also looks great, but it doesn't have the best stamina. 9 out of 10. Amazing color scheme and design, however it has terrible burst resistance and its driver was just too gimmicky to really work. 4 out of 10. The first and only Beyblade to have its layer fused with its disc. It came with a destroyed driver and had a whopping 4 metal dragons. 10 out of 10. I love this Beyblade's design, it looks so cool, it comes with the best driver at the time, Atomic, but it does have really weak teeth. 8 out of 10. It came with the bearing driver, which had the best stamina and life after death at the time, however it did burst quite often. 6 out of 10. Fun looking gimmick with decent performance as an attack type. 7 out of 10. Good attack type Beyblade with smash in an upper mode. It is one of the few attack type Beyblades that has good stamina. 8 out of 10. Wedge. 2 out of 10. Cool burst stopping gimmick, but it didn't really work. 3 out of 10. Clean Valkyrie design, but it comes with the lightest disc ever created and a very crazy driver when it's not awakened. 6 out of 10. Knockoff Spriggan, but I don't want Iga fans to kill me in my sleep, so 7 out of 10. He's a shark. 5 out of 10. The worst longness performance-wise, but the golden dragon in the middle is pretty sweet. Minus points though for not being metal. 6 out of 10. I like how it looks like they turned Ragnarok into a metal cyborg, but it has Wedge. 7 out of 10. Sick Beyblade with a really cool color scheme. The operate driver jumps all over the place and it's really fun to use. 8 out of 10. The design is alright, but this thing was crazy good when it came out. It had so much defense and stamina, people were winning tournaments with just its stop combo. 8 out of 10. Had a cool design and its armor gimmick was actually useful and very unique. Love this Beyblade. 10 out of 10. Its biting gimmick doesn't work in real life. 2 out of 10. The worst looking and performing Excalibur. 3 out of 10. Cool design, interesting absorption gimmick, but does burst quite often. 6 out of 10. In my opinion, the best looking Fafnir ever created. I love how the dragon is clawing at the giant metal gem in the middle. However, this thing wasn't the best in battle because its design was just so jagged. 8 out of 10. The Turbo Beyblade with the most metal. It was a solid tank with a chilling color scheme. 9 out of 10. Valkyrie bulked up for this evolution and introduced the Chouz burst locking gimmick, a very solid attack type Beyblade. 9 out of 10. Dual rotation, burst locks, and an upgraded Zeta driver. This Beyblade seemed to have it all, except the wall frame caused it to scrape, and for some reason they didn't give it rubber. 8 out of 10. Suction Cup. 1 out of 10. Actually, 2 out of 10. I like the Suction Cup. Another Chouz prefix Beyblade with a cool design and a fun driver gimmick in Dimension Dash. Not as cool as Valkyrie though. 8 out of 10. It's the banana, but blue. Kinda cringe. 3 out of 10. The fusion between Phoenix and Hades, this thing is awesome. 10 out of 10. I love how they came with the Extreme Dash driver, although they're pretty round so they couldn't really hit that hard. 7 out of 10. Now we're on to GT. Solid attack type Beyblade with a fun interchangeable layer gimmick. 8 out of 10. One of the worst Valkyries performance wise, but hey, at least it looks cool. 6 out of 10. Terrible Kirby's knockoff with bad stamina and bad burst resistance. 1 out of 10. Me and the boys hate Wizard Fafnir. It is a disgrace to the Fafnir name with bad stamina and horrendous burst resistance. 1 out of 10. This Beyblade hit like a truck with its rubber contact points. The trick driver wasn't the best though, but its gimmick was fun at times. 8 out of 10. Decent left spin defense Beyblade. Metal Orbit was cool, but personally I think the original Bahamut's design was better. 6 out of 10. Pretty good attack type left spin Beyblade, but for a longness it needed more metal dragons. 7 out of 10. Heavy Beyblade with a cool design and a fun gimmick in the bullet driver. I love my mini Beyblade. 9 out of 10. Decent defense type Beyblade, never got a stock combo so that's all I can really say about it. 6 out of 10. I love its relocking gimmick and concept, but in real life it's just not that great, almost losing to everything. 2 out of 10. Burst stoppers, metal in the layer, dual rotation, and this time even rubber. This Beyblade had it all and it dominated at the time. Also had an amazing design. 10 out of 10. Fun Beyblade with an OP driver and Extend Plus. 9 out of 10. Had a lot of metal but still failed to hit hard at all. 3 out of 10. This Beyblade is basically unburstable with the infinite lock system, and it came with a motorized driver. That is just so cool. 9 out of 10. Another infinite lock Beyblade, but this time it came with the fun ultimate reboot driver. I don't think it's as cool as a motorized driver though. 8 out of 10. It's a hard-hitting attack-type Beyblade with a bound gimmick, rubber, and a motorized driver. I just wish it was a little more aggressive when the motor wasn't active. 9 out of 10. It had a flippable dual rotation layer and an interesting driver that was crazy for the first half of battle and then passive for the second. One of my favorite balance type Beyblades to date. 10 out of 10. Honestly, I liked Regalia Genesis more. Metal Yard just isn't it. 7 out of 10. Alright, on to Sparking. A hard-hitting attack-type Beyblade with a super aggressive rubber driver. The only problem is that it's pretty light. 9 out of 10. Honestly, it's a bad left spin version of Super Hyperion, but the zone driver can make for some pretty cool counterattacks every now and then. 6 out of 10. It does what Ragnarok does best and bursts, but at least it has good stamina. 4 out of 10. The first Valkyrie with rubber on its layer, this thing hits hard and has an amazing design. 10 out of 10. I mean, now it has 5 wheels instead of 3. That's kind of cool, I guess. 5 out of 10 for 5 wheels. Solid Fafnir Beyblade that doesn't burst every battle like Wizard. 8 out of 10. Probably the best Sparking Beyblade. It gets super hard hits with its crazy upper attacks thanks to its chassis. Longness is finally back at the top, although I wish there were more metal dragons. 9 out of 10. This thing looks like a flower. 3 out of 10. I don't know why, but they gave these Beyblades like Evolution Core Discs and garbage drivers. 1 out of 10. It's a very tanky Beyblade with decent stamina for an attack type. I also like the rainbow wings. 8 out of 10. It's a fun Spriggan Beyblade with a flippable layer, which gave a callback to Legend Spriggan and Spriggan Requiem. It also has a free-spinning chassis and the Unite driver. I like it a lot. 10 out of 10. Solid balance type Beyblade. I like its sword mode much more than its shield mode. 8 out of 10. A complete upgrade of King Helios. It's heavier, the driver add-on makes it much better, and it has a useful limit break. 9 out of 10. A complete downgrade of Super Hyperion. It looks like a pinwheel, the driver is much worse, and its limit break causes the Beyblade to burst like no other. 1 out of 10. Bear Claw the End. I like it. 8 out of 10. A super unbalanced Beyblade that hits hard and has a sick design. I love the metal scythe on the layer. 9 out of 10. The worst Wyvern ever released. It's like Tornado Wyvern, but worse in every way. 1 out of 10. Solid Beyblade, but nothing spectacular. 5 out of 10. It looks like a white version of Hyperion. 4 out of 10. Alright, on to our last series, Dynamite. The gears are cool, but without them, Belial is kind of a bad black recolor of Valkyrie. 5 out of 10. One of the best Ragnarok Beyblades that can hold its own against most Beyblades. 7 out of 10. Unlike other Fafners, this Fafner doesn't struggle with defending against left spin attack bays. It has good defense and is pretty good at stealing spin. Its layer is also basically completely rubber, which is cool. 8 out of 10. Amazing design. I love the pink on this Beyblade. It's heavy and a solid Beyblade all around. 9 out of 10. The shot driver is an interesting gimmick and concept, but in performance, it just acts as a terrible reboot driver. 3 out of 10. This Beyblade has metal, rubber, dual rotation, a heavy disc, clean design, a driver with 4 different modes. It's so cool, but it does burst every now and then. Well, it's Spriggan, so I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because I'm biased. Bro, this thing has like 6 metal dragons. That's so cool. 10 out of 10. Oh, also, it's like the best stop combo Beyblade ever released. I like its design a little better than Dynamite, although its driver can get pretty out of control. 7 out of 10. It's Revive Phoenix, except this time it doesn't have metal on its armor. 8 out of 10. I actually really like its gimmick, even if it makes it worse in battle. It's just nice to look at. The over disc is heavy and the high extend plus driver gives the Beyblade pretty good stamina and life after death. 8 out of 10. A combination of all past Valkyries, what's not to love? 10 out of 10. Honestly, it's not that much different than the other 2 Belials. 6 out of 10. I love this guy's design and it was a much needed evolution. 8 out of 10. It's just bigger and better Tempest Dragon, but I like Tempest Dragon, and this one is pretty cool too. 7 out of 10. Finally, we got another Excalibur, and it hits super hard, although the Sword Dash driver kind of holds it back. They should have put Extreme Dash instead. 8 out of 10. Pretty cool Achilles Beyblade with a unique round design compared to past Achilles. I also like the Quattro Dash driver on it. 8 out of 10. I like how Midnight is facing forward, although it's still not that great of a Beyblade. Still a ripoff Maximum Garuda. 4 out of 10. Alright, and yeah, that was rating every single Beyblade. My voice hurt. I'm sorry I talk so fast. Like, I had to talk fast, so we just had to go through so many Beyblades. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like videos like this, please like the video and please subscribe. It really does help us out. Alright, anyway, see you guys later. Have a nice day. Thank you to my editor Riley for editing this, because this is a really long video for him to edit. Especially since he has to come up with all the footage himself. I literally just send him an audio recording and he does like all the magic. He's amazing. Alright, so yeah, thank you to Riley, and thank you to you guys for always watching the videos. Couldn't do it without any of you. And I think that's it. I'm just rambling at this point. You don't have to edit this, Riley. But I appreciate it. Anyway, see you guys later. Have a nice day. LeftBurst out.